Hi everyone! Today we are making this pouch, an envelope, in an interesting technique. I think it can be called a patchwork crocheting, if you will. We are gonna be crocheting in different directions to create this kind of look to it, a feel of a patchwork technique. Today I'm using a cotton linen blend and a suitable hook for that. We're starting with chain 6. I have a tulip in 1.4. And we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, chain 6, and single crochet into each stitch here. Have single crochets all the way. Chain 1, and turn your work around, and single crochets, catching both sides of the stitch so that the work is sturdier and this pattern is more visible and less flimsy, of course. Make sure you're counting so not to miss any or add any stitches. This is chain 1 at the end so that the rows are even. We have even sides. And chain 1, and after that we turn the work around and single crochets, chain 1 at the end, turn the work around. This way we're gonna continue for a little while. To set up the middle of our square, just couple rows more, chain 1, turn the work around, single crochets, choose some yarn that you like, that feels good, and the hook of the appropriate size. Some natural yarns are always a good idea, but whatever works for you, obviously. Later on, when we do the turn, you can start crocheting with another color also, so make it look even more like a patchwork technique. But in one color it looks good as well, I think. Interesting design and look to it. Now we turn the work around and start crocheting on the side of this piece here. Just count how many rows you've done and do the same amount of single crochets. Pick up the sides of the stitches as you go and do a single crochet. Make sure you have the same amount of single crochets as you had the rows in the previous part. That way you starting off the correct way and the square is gonna look good and symmetrical afterwards. We chain one at the end of this first row, turn the work around and do a couple rows here. All single crochets. Stretched around a little to even all the stitches and turn the work around, do one more row. This is a relaxing way to make something that you can actually use. Also a great way to repurpose any kinds of remaining yarns that you have lying around, some little pieces of the yarns you like, but there's just not enough of one color for one project. This way you can put them all together, put them all here in this one piece and enjoy the feel and look of them every time you get to use it. You can make it in a rectangular shape, make a rectangle of it and put your sunglasses, your reading glasses in there. Can also be a pillowcase if you just keep going, keep crocheting this way, depending on the size of your pillow. Just make 2 squares of the appropriate size, the size you need, and then connect the same way we're gonna do. I'll show the way we're connecting a bit later. Here we turn the work around again. See, we have like, so to say, 2 pieces now, and moving forward, crocheting on the side again, raising stitches, single crochets as usual. Make sure you have the same amount, so it's not less or more, just the perfect amount. Yeah, the pillowcase, so it's gonna be, for example, 2 pieces. You connect them, put in your pillow in, and then figure out the way you want to close, the way you want to fasten the 4th side. Could be a zipper, could be several buttons, a Velcro, could also be a ribbon. That's a nice option as well. Here we turn the work around again and doing a couple more rows here. So to say, adding the 3rd piece to our patchwork in a way. Now I really want to try that in different colors. Speaking of it, I have like a whole drawer of tiny balls of yarn lying around, so that would make a pretty colorful envelope. Turn around, don't forget those chain 1s at the end. That's gonna make the edges straight and even. Also make sure you have good light when you work. I don't think it's talked about enough. Anybody talking enough about it? Make sure you have good light. Take care of yourself and stay in a place where the light is good. And keep some sort of lamp nearby if you get carried away and just one more row turns into twilight hours, so you can easily add more light and enjoy working. Enjoy your creativity. Yeah, like this. So almost there with the 3rd piece, so to say. stretched around a little. Actually looks like a tiny doll's blanket at the moment. Can make that for your kids. They'll be thrilled, I'm sure. For the dollhouse, a nice little detail, a sort of a rug or a blanket. Let's do one more row here, and we'll move to the next one, to the next side, and I'll show you how to work in the end of the yarn, this little piece of yarn from the very beginning. It is very easy to work it in when you are crocheting as opposed to knitting. That's way more complicated and laborious when it's knitting. With crochet it's super easy. Here, stretched around a little to see how it's turning out. All nice and even, and turn it to the side, and we'll crochet on the side here, raising stitches from the side. Make sure you're not in a hurry, not missing any stitches, and have the right amount. Here, this end, just keep it on the top, here on top of this edge, and we're gonna be crocheting around it. So we're keeping it here, line on this edge, and it stays inside each stitch, so to say. See, we go in, yarn over, and single crochet over this, and it's just staying inside, not showing. Doesn't matter at the back, you can't see it as well. That's beautiful with the crochet. One more plus of crochet is that you don't have to be weaving and pretty clean work at the end. Here, this little end is gonna be still hanging out. It's okay, we'll work it in a little later when we're gonna be working this side. For now, we do chain one. It's gonna be on this side. And now chain one, and we turn the work around to continue making this next patch of the envelope. I think it's one of the ways to arrange your bag a little, having different kinds of pouches. You have your makeup bag and probably your sunglasses case, but everything else kind of laying around in your bag. So it's one of the ways to have it arranged a little bit better, a little more convenient for you, easier for you to find when you do need it. You can make a couple of these, they're not heavy. If the yarn is thin, and color coded, for example, you have some items in one envelope, and you know that your other items are in the other color envelope, so that could be convenient. Chain 1, turn the work around, and single crochet this row now. I have some placemats made in this technique, and they are very, very durable. It's made of cotton. Yeah, it was in cotton, and it's several years old. I machine washed them at any kind of degrees, 60, 40, and nothing happens. They're just really durable and look good still. Especially if you use the colors you like and colors that suit your interior. They're gonna serve you for a long time. Here we go. We have 4 kind of patches now. You see, each one's getting bigger. And now we turn the work around again and work in this side, and we get to hide the last remaining end of the yarn that's peeking out still. Sorry if it was bothering you all this time. Once again, go slow so you have the right amount of stitches for each side. Keep that end on the edge of the work and work your single crochets around it. Here it's laying on the side and you just single crochet over it and it stays in. Here we go, starting the biggest part, the biggest patch yet. Single crochets all the way, and while you're working, have in mind what size you want it to be and see when it's enough so that you can start on the second one, and after that connect the two. The last single crochet, chain one, and stretch it around a little. See how it's coming. So we continue with this side now, crocheting this way, the right amount of rows, then turn it around and do a couple more until you have the size you like, the size you want your envelope to be. And I'll see you soon. Here we have two pieces done of the same size, and we now get into connect them. For that we need to put them face to face, so have a look which one is the right side of your pieces. This is the wrong side, the right side, so put them face to face and we'll be connecting them with the help of the hook as well. Just see that all the sides are matching. Check again that it's face to face, the right side to right side, and the wrong sides are facing out. This is the thread that's we didn't cut, and we continue using it to connect the two pieces. We go through both sides of stitches on one piece on the other one, and we single crochet both of those. Again, you go in both sides of a stitch in one piece and both sides of the stitch in piece 2, pull yarn through and single crochet, and continue going like that, connecting stitches with a single crochet. Make sure you get the both sides of each stitch so it's nice and sturdy and nothing's picking out, and the seam is nice and sturdy. We do this on 3 sides, and don't forget to leave the 4th one open. We're gonna make a flap because it is an envelope. Let's continue in this way. Single crochet, along 3 sides of our squares. At the corners, let's do a couple of single crochets in this one last stitch at the very corner, so we have a sort of a round finish to it. Just a couple, 3 single crochets in this corner stitch, and here we hiding the end of the yarn as well, hiding it keeping it inside the stitches, single crocheting over it. when we turn the envelope inside out, you'll see how nice it's looking. The seams are nice and sturdy. But also sort of rounded, you know, because we're turning it inside out, and it's not that angular, you know, more has a soft look to it. Here at the corner we do 2 single crochet in this last stitch to round it a bit. And continuing with the side 3. Careful picking up the sides of these stitches. Looking like this around it, which is pretty, I think. The last couple of single crochets, and we get to turn it inside out and see how it is. Did it work out? How it looks? Just a couple more. chain 1. Here we go, all 3 sides done. Let's see. Oh, that's nice and sturdy. See how the edge is so nice and rounded, also the corners, thanks to the fact that we are turning it inside out. Here, very nice. Now we need to make a flap because it's an envelope of sorts. Let's do that. Here we have yarn still attached, so we're crocheting just along this one side, keeping it simple with single crochets all the way, just one side. Here we go, last couple stitches, and see, chain 1. Here the flap is gonna be super great looking in my eyes. We continue, turn the work around, continue with single crochets. You can also make it some kind of a pattern, another design if you feel like it, make it lacy, or you can keep going with just single crochets. Also gonna look neat and feel good. Single crochets all the way to the edge of this part of the envelope. So we're forming our flap. chain 1, turn the work around, and see, it's a nice width for flap. Continuing with single crochets. The flap can go all the way, covering all of our envelope if you feel like it. Could go up until the middle. That's your choice, obviously, though you can make it any way you want it to look like. Chain 1, don't forget about those. Turn the work around. Check every couple rows how it's looking, how it's going. Go up until you feel like it's good enough, you feel content about it, and I'll see you a bit later. And here let's add a row of treble crochet. We chain 4, yarn over twice, insert the hook, yarn over, pull yarn through 2 loops, pull yarn through 2 loops again, and repeat. Yarn over twice, treble crochet, we add this row at the end of the flap to be able to adjust a button, so we don't have to make that buttonhole, but just use the space between the treble crochet instead. Could be double crochet depending on the size of your button, size of your envelope. Just treble crochet all through this row. Iron it a little if you feel like it at the end, so that the flap is even, you see. Use some kind of natural fabric cloth over the envelope and iron it gently. Maybe steam a little as well, depending on the yarn you're using, and that's gonna make it look even better. Steaming can improve the look. All the stitches are gonna be looking even, and the flap will be all ironed out and straight looking. Here, just a couple more. Treble crochet. Chain one, and here we go. This is the flap we got, and the button. And these treble crochet are perfect to button it up, because we don't have to make an additional buttonhole, and it looks pretty at the edge of the flap. But to make buttoning it a little easier, let's do one more row of single crochet. That's gonna make the edge a little sturdier and the button stay in place. Here, just continue until the end. And that's gonna be it for making this envelope. Just attach the button and you are done. You have a brand new item. That you crocheted yourself. That's a very good feeling, I think. You can also make it in a bag, you know, adjust a little chain to it, or you can crochet a chain, just a thin rope of the length that you need, and it could be a little tiny crossbody bag that's gonna look very nice and be very nice accessory for summer. You can be using it to keep all kinds of accessories you need at hand. Can also change the button to some magnet, the magnetic fastening thing, you know. Here, just one last thing to do is to connect the button. Here, let's sew this button on. Pick your spot where it's supposed to go. And we sew it on. Could also pick a crystal kind of button, you know, that's gonna be catching sunlight and sparkle while you walk. That's gonna look great. Let's fasten the thread at the back of the button like this. Just a couple of knots to secure the button. And this is it. Just cut the thread and that's it. Congrats! You have a new item, a pouch, an envelope you can use to store your treasures in, your necessities, and you made it all by yourself. I hope you liked the process, like what you made, enjoy it every day afterwards. Hope you're doing well. Wishing you a nice and beautiful day. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you very soon.